I was a bachelor for 49 years, lived a fun, wonderful life, and I met Vicki, this wonderful, wonderful woman from church, and she was, I guess, the apple of my eye. So she caught my eye and she stuck, and we got married. She's a widow with 5 children from the ages at that time were 8 to 17, and I thought it was a good setting, good enough even for a 49-year-old bachelor like myself to step into. So I did, and that's where I'm at right now. It was 14 months into our marriage, and I thought things were going very wonderfully. I woke up in the middle of the night with paramedics in my room. My wife had called 911. I had had some sort of seizure. Well, of course, they took me to the hospital, and by morning they had it all figured out that I had a pretty large brain tumor, a brain tumor that had been there for quite a while, actually. They said it was 5 centimeters, which puts it about the size of a lime. And it was inoperable, so I was going to have it no matter what, I guess. I now have a brain tumor that I got to keep. We were, of course, pretty devastated about it. It wasn't like I was going to fall over dead the next day, but we knew immediately that there was going to be a pretty long road here that was going to be difficult. We went to several doctors, of course, at first. We even went to the Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic gave me 2 to 3 years to live. We started to go to other doctors. They wanted to give me conventional treatments that involved radiation and chemotherapy and the usual drugs that they would give for these items. Those doctors gave me from 7 to 9 years to live. I had also been aware of a Dr. Brzezinski who was doing experimental treatments for cancers and brain tumors. I had become aware of Dr. Brzezinski over 15 years ago. He was on the cover of the New American Magazine, and the article was about the FDA trying to put him out of business, even though he had success with treating brain tumors and cancer without radiation and chemotherapy. The reason this story stuck out is because my mother had passed away back in 1988 from a brain tumor also, when I was 18 years old. So it was a story that stuck with me, and now I found myself in the same situation. It took a lot of thinking whether that's what I was going to do. Insurance was not going to pay for this treatment, so it was going to be something that we would have to pay for ourselves. There was a very strong prompting by the Lord, so strong in which my feet were frozen in position. And I clearly heard the Lord speak to me and say that, do you or don't you, and that I was going to go to Texas. Well, I think he was actually really asking me whether my faith was with him or not. I went to Brzezinski in July of 2010 is when we finally made it down there. We spent about $25,000 there to get started on the program. Dr. Brzezinski gave me a drug that he invented, sodium phenyl butyrate, I believe is what it's called. He is the only person that manufactures it and dispenses it. Hence, he is unique in the field of cancer and tumor treatments. Since I returned from Brzezinski in July of 2010, the 3-month MRI said no change, which we sort of accepted because it was okay. It was still early in the treatment, and no change was better than it getting bigger. The 6-month MRI also showed that there was no change, so we were somewhat disappointed in that. we were hoping that there would be some indication of something. Dr. Brzezinski did tell us that it was a slow-growing tumor. It may take a while for something to happen also. We had started to make some decisions about the 9-month MRI. If it did not come in with any type of positive results for us in a good direction, that it was very real that we would have to just cut the treatment, mostly because of financial reasons. The 9-month MRI results came in, and they were, to say the least, spectacular by any doctor's standards. The tumor had 30 to 40% degeneration. They call it cystic, where cystic fluid, which is basically water, and the outer edges were undefinable at this point. So clearly, it was breaking down. There was positive results. We had gotten spectacular results after 9 months that we were really encouraged. But the sad part was we were out of money, so we were selling a lot of things, and after a year and 3 months now, I have spent about $110,000 of my own money to get the treatment. Well, why I would spend $3,300 a month to go there is probably the $3,300 question, of course, is simply because it's working. Most of the people that I did talk to that had been on this treatment were about 18 months. Some were only 12 months, and their tumors were completely gone. Some had only half their tumors dissolved, but all their symptoms had gone away, and the tumor had stopped growing and was basically dead. So these were all things that helped me to just say, okay, I have to try to stick with this, no matter what, I guess, at this point. So it's been just a fantastic blessing to see family, friends, church, that so many have come together at this point here now to come to my family's aid here right now. It's just we just feel so blessed.